Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more 1348 Ex Voto. You know, I was going to record some Swordhaven tonight, but I've been thinking so much about possible...
Oh, Bia, if you could give me some sign.
Should have probably just stayed back there and not moved.
Searched for traces of the Briganti, but I have lost them. Now I too am lost.
Lady, could you walk like a normal person in this situation? So yeah, I've been thinking of talking points of this game, so a few interesting things. Apparently my throat's a bit dry, but I'll have to manage. The game is described by the developers as being inspired by the medieval romances. Now, the word romance has gained modern connotations. Aha, so we do not get to carry over our food from the intro. Got it. The medieval romance was a specific literary art form that was blatantly killed off by Cervantes, who, the author of Don Quixote, who wrote his famous novel to intentionally destroy the medieval romance as an art form because he hated it. And it's not what most modern people would think of as the word romance.
Keep. At last, the lord of these lands would surely aid me. He may know of the Briganti if they came this way.
Or the keep is infested with brigands. Okay, hold. So shift barely changes speed. So medieval romances were tales of high adventure, featuring shift is run. Okay. But we seem to be stuck in running mode permanently. Is it a toggle? No. Yeah, so they were tales of high adventure. Things that would be outside the scope of normal everyday life. Things like Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, or Parsifal, would easily fall into the medieval romance category. Whereas our modern concept of the word romance comes from starry-eyed, weak at the knees, overly emotional people in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, hearing of the sort of thing that might feature in the medieval romances and saying, "Oh, how romantic!" And, like the old Chinese proverb, when the wise man points at the moon, the fool looks at the finger. And people have come to associate the term romantic not with the things those great big softies consider romantic, but with those great big softies. Which is totally fine. Words can change their meaning. But I think when the developers claim this game is inspired by the medieval romances, they're referring to the art form, the literary form.
Mother would have loved this.
And not to more soppy stuff, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with being a great big softy. I'm a great big softy sometimes myself. So there appears to be nothing up there at all, which makes me wonder why this is here. Is it purely for to make the scenery look different? Or is there something secret up here worth discovering? Invisible wall on the bush is fine. Are knaves going to come down from here and surround me and go, "Aha, surprise, you didn't see..." Oh, wait. There we go. Some more herbs. Excellent stuff. What else? You know what? The developers aren't pushing their culture war angle anywhere near as much as they were prior to release. Apparently they got rid of their social media manager, who might have been pushing a load of that stuff and caused a lot of controversy. Also, they had a day 2 patch. Not day 1, but day 2. And I wonder if that was very intentional, because if they'd got that patch ready a day sooner, it wouldn't have been a patch. It would have been part of the game's initial release. However, people who played the demo began spreading word that this game was very buggy, and there were a lot of issues. And getting a patch out that soon after release might have been a way to signal to people that, hey, this game, we're fixing it, we're working on it, it's not as buggy as it was when you saw the demo. Sneaky, but potentially trying to alter people's perceptions of reality. If it had been a day 1 patch, it would have had the day 1 patch reputation of the stuff that was held back to be thrown in at the last moment and go, oh hey look, there you go, there's something extra. Or stuff they couldn't be bothered to just fix before releasing. Let's continue searching for herbs. Because
beggars can't be picky.
if the demo's taught me anything, I'm likely to take damage in this game. I am not particularly good at the dodge button. So, there we go. What else? I suppose we could talk about the fact that lesbianism has been around since ancient Greece. There was a poetess on the island of Lesbos. Yep, it's a Greek island. Where do you think the word lesbian comes from? Called, well, we don't know what she was called, but she went by the pen name of Sappho and wrote a large number of very beautiful love letters to women that were clearly written by a woman. It's why lesbian stuff is sometimes referred to as sapphic, as in of Sappho, by Sappho, like Sappho, you know. And there you are. Am I a lesbian? I mean, I'm as lesbian as any other man, you know. I could pretend I feel like a woman trapped in a man's body who loves other women. Am I? I don't know. Ooh, looks like if I go wee! Yep. I can totally avoid walking on the path. For no reason whatsoever apart from the fact there may be some kind of ambush.
An old dwelling. A shepherd's or mason's hut.
Calling it old is one way of putting it. That's a ruin, lady. So yeah. Oh, and it's literally blocked off, so I had to come this way anyway. And now I can't go back and check if there was anything in the path up to the dead end. That's cool. Possibly too clever for my own good. Now, as a ruin, it's likely to be abandoned, and we're unlikely to be ambushed by people lying in wait.
Huh. This fire is recent. A day or two old. The Briganti must be close. So must be Yanka.
They must have stopped here, and that looks like something I can interact with. Like a pickaxe handle or something? Wait. That's an axe. We apparently do not get to use an axe. We do get to have whatever this is. Ah! Use paper to unlock new skills. Collect paper and spend it in the skills menu. So this would be like the, what's it? Alberto Fiore? Or is it just Fiore? Fiore is Italian. Medieval sword training manuscripts, theoretically. That's what I thought we'd be collecting. But instead it seems like we're just writing things down, perhaps writing our story. And it would appear the game wants us to do this now, because we do have enough to do something. We could get health, guard, Not quite sure what guard does, how that affects our block. Food upgrade. Allows us to carry more food. Adds one new light attack to one-handed stance. So, because we're cycling through attacks, essentially, a series of attacks as we go. These are all more expensive, and these are locked for now. Presumably they will unlock at some point. So yeah, while the medieval romances would focus on adventure, there wouldn't really be that much love in them. Well, there would, but not the kind that would be like getting all shagadelic and relationships and stuff. It would be more something like, the knight was so confident in his love for the lady that he smashed the other knight's helmet in and broke it up so badly that no one would ever be able to repair it ever again, absolutely destroying the man's head in the process. And in fact, everyone looked at the helmet and said, wow, that is amazing. He must have been really pissed off to do that much damage. We should take this broken helmet and display it so that everyone can see it and go, look at that, someone was really, really, really angry. Right? That's essentially the kind of thing that... So it's like, and yeah, there would occasionally be little bits of courtship and relationship type stuff that we would consider modern romance, but those would be less the focus of the story and more the inspiration, the fuel that the main character would use to keep on going. So I can see how this story could absolutely fall into that category. I'm going to go for the extra health because I will probably get hit, and the an exponential increase in cost. So it's not 5, it's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's going to be 5, 15, 30, 50, 75. So a lot. Which will hopefully encourage us to diversify our spending. So, prudence. We have gained some extra health. Which should mean, hopefully, we will have 6 little hearts instead of 5 now. Every hit seems to deal 1 damage exactly, so far. To us. Not sure about enemies. Right. That little beep and clink as I climbed sounded a little electronic. That was interesting. Right, is it space or... It is, okay. What else was I thinking? Is this like the medieval version of The Last of Us? No, if you want to play the medieval version of The Last of Us, go and play the Plague Tale series, where the crafting interface is identical to that of The Last of Us, to the point where it looked so out of place in a medieval game, I thought it looked like they'd borrowed it from some kind of futuristic science fiction, or maybe like modern squaddy shooter game, because I'd never seen The Last of Us at the time, and didn't realise they'd just almost blatantly copied it from that. They could have put like a nice illuminated border around it, something made it look a bit more medieval. So does this work then? Let's see. This looks a little like medieval art style. It kind of works a bit better. The dark background seems a bit odd. Maybe if they'd gone for a sort of yellowed parchment type background tone without too many details and crinkles, that could have been nice. That could be an interesting mod. Actually, there are some mods out for this game already. There's 4 of them. Nothing too specific. So there's apparently 9 of these. We only have, wait, 2 uses or just 1 use? I don't know. And we will presumably be finding some of this at some point soon. Because I don't know how long the whole game is. But I would imagine... Where? Over there. The cart is there. I would love to approach it. I see carrion. I want to check. Blocked off by a rockfall. Presumably a fairly recent rockfall that occurred after the cart came through here. Otherwise, why would the cart even come here in the first place?
It has been ransacked.
It has
Cart
indeed.
Destroyed. The ox taken. Blood. This happened recently, since the last rains. The owner was ambushed. By the Briganti. At least 3 or 4 did this. Maybe a handful more.
And now we're full. Okay, where did she get that number from? It's not a lot of blood. Possibly if there were less brigands, there would be more bloodshed because some of them would get wounded. If there's a lot of them, they could overpower the cart's owner fairly quickly without taking a lot of damage. I almost recorded something else tonight, but I said that already because I was just wanting to talk about how the term medieval romances might not mean what we would take it to think. Ironically, some American author, can I get in the water? No, I cannot cross over there. An American author wrote a story called Medieval Romance. Literally, that's what he called it. And it literally ends with him saying, okay, I've written myself into a corner here and this is such a mess, I can't sort it out. If any of you wants to go finish the story, be my guest, write an end to it. Because he literally had just written such a mess of just making things... He'd done a George R. Martin of making things worse and worse and blocking everything so that he couldn't fix it. Just, you know, creating more and more problems. We're going to have to spacebar under here. Yep. And I am anticipating problems. We've got a lot of open area here.
This belonged to one of the Briganti. I have found them.
I have ya!
Oh, wow, okay. Oh, that works. I mean...
I found them. Briganti. They're here.
Yep, you said. There don't seem to be any more of them, though. You know what? I is going to be sneaky and go back to the cart for more healing supplies. What was it? X to heal? Yes, running away like the courageous character we are. Options. Controls. Q to heal. Let's Q again. And then cart, give us goods. Not necessarily very many, mind you. Just for one, in fact. Well, we can anticipate more damage incoming. There's at least 4 of them. And one did 2 damage to us already. I must admit, it's a very lively tune. So, 2 axes. Not that we've encountered brigands of axes yet, and some leftover food. Can we get up here? No. Very well. That looks important. There's swords up there. Come on, please, let me... There we go. Come on, lady. The game's letting you climb up on here for a reason. Interesting. Because we clearly want to get up there. Visibly, I think he may have come down from there. But there's 2 swords and an axe there, and he chose to come at me with a pitchfork. I don't see a way around from up here, but we might as well check. Oh no. You have a flail.
Who are you? I've no quarrel with you.
And I have much cause. For ambushing savages. For my village. For beer.
Right, mate. You're gonna get cut. Oh, wow. Remember that bugginess we mentioned earlier? Camera didn't like that, did it? Okay. Let's sheath our sword and jump at the same time, apparently. I barely tapped the button. That was amusing. Invisible wall won't let me get closer to the rocks. It would appear I cannot reach that point where... See, I was thinking that cluster of equipment up there on the ledge may have included a new part for my sword. Speaking of which, that's a very big chest. Come on, look at it. It's massive. How has that not got something useful in that I can take with me? Apparently Aeta does not like large chests full of potentially useful equipment. She's brought her own and that's what she's going to use, damn it. Maybe I can... Really? You're not going to let me climb up on there and there when it really looks like a place that we would use to return this way. Now. So the game does allow me to get up on here. So where's my next step from this? It seems to just be falling off. So why am I allowed to clamber up on here? Let's see, if I go this way, I can come across. Alright. Now, that climbing spot is permitted, right? It's not like that's all blocked off, you cannot climb here. That looks like a climb up point. Okay, maybe there's a way across here, right? That's not it. The thing is, if it's too close to that entrance, it'll clash and make us just want to go that way. That looks like it's all blocked off. I don't think... That looks like a very walkable ledge. Perhaps it's where our opponent came from. We came in here, we saw that, and he appeared right here, so he might have come down from there while the camera was pointing away. Maybe there, we're just following the top of her head, is a little bit too difficult to traverse. But again, the game allows us to climb up here onto this little beginning of the ledge. Hang on. Okay, we can't get up on there, but we can get here. And then we're stuck. We cannot progress further along. Wait. Okay, so we can fall off there and not jump back up, but we can climb up. Specifically here. Oh no, it is just here. And then nothing more. Interesting. You see, because we can't get there at all, you'd think they wouldn't allow us to climb up that point. But they did, which makes us think maybe there's something there we can interact with in some way. Whatever it is. Wait. Okay, we can't climb on the barrels. Worth a try. There's not a lot of wood around here for that many axes. Okay. There's a lot of very stark white in the stone around here. I'm not sure what kind of stone that is, but it's not a kind of darker grey or something.
That tower looks abandoned.
Yes, it does.
I shall have a better view of what awaits me from the top.
It might not be that abandoned you've just encountered brigands. They might also enjoy the view from the top of the tower. Also, this might not be the way. See what I mean? Right. Perhaps we may spy their great camp from here. We've come across a small camp. Now, she said at least 4 of them, and we've encountered exactly 3. Meaning there are definitely more. And now we're probably going to get some kind of climbing or platforming mini-game of Doom. Or
I need to find another way up.
more parchment. Oh, exactly enough. Well, I would imagine that we would walk around the back of the tower here. Oh, they want us here. Probably over there. Which means that ridge, we're practically at the top of the tower anyway. We get a bit of extra height. Now, we could gain more health, or guard upgrade and food upgrade, or save it for an extra attack. Or I could get one of these with guard upgrade. I'm not sure what that is. If that increases our parry timing or the strength of our blocks. Kind of tempted to really try. And I'll take the health upgrade for now, as it will hopefully. That looks like the way to go. This looks like the way to the top of the tower. A very dark cave, contrasting strongly with the paleness of the stones. A cave that is fortunately abandoned. Obviously, I'm glossing over questions like, does this woman look like she can fight? You know, there's things like, you know, biological, emotional, sociological differences and stuff, right? That's clearly not what this game is about, right? This is a game about, is it like a power fantasy or something else, you know? But essentially, it's a game in which this woman is going to be fighting people. Come on, I can see it. It's right there. The game does not want me to get the interaction. I took 2. There's a third one, which does not want to there we go. Something to do with proximity to the tree, perhaps. And a hole in the wall, which is obviously very traversal with a blatant windowsill, almost. Alright. Let's head on up.
Must have been a guard tower.
I mean, look, you know, I'm a human. If someone were to hit me with a sword in a meaningful, violent, harmful way, I'd be pretty bloody hurt, regardless if it was a man or a woman. That being said, one or the other might be able to do more damage. Come on, anything? What's this?
This pommel would be difficult to hold two-handed, but it is superb for balance.
Okay. Equip sword parts to improve and customize your sword. Collect. Gone. Oh, she almost didn't make that jump there.
The road continues through the valley below, but it looks as though this pass leads to the keep.
You could literally have seen that from down there, lady. Valley below, more like a cave. Where are you seeing the keep from here? I'm not sure. Well, we probably don't want to go dropping all the way down there, but we could probably drop down onto the stairs from there with minimal damage, if any. Yeah, that being said, you know, it depends on how good the person is at using a sword. There's some very violent, dangerous people out there. Now, generally, even nowadays, women aren't that inclined to... Now wait for it. I'm not going to say they aren't that inclined to violence, but they aren't necessarily that inclined to, like, trained military battlefield type violence, right? You get a woman who wants to slap her husband, she'll bloody slap him, you know what I mean? You get fights outside nightclubs, all sorts of things. It's just that in this kind of time, when you get things like the plague, the Black Death, and so on, you know, a catastrophe or violent conflict could devastate a community. And hey, if you lose a lot of people to violence, and there's only a few people left, what would you rather have? You know, 3 men and 1 woman, or 1 man and 3 women? I'll give you a hint. In that situation, one of the 3 men could get the 1 woman pregnant, and then she'd be pregnant, and you'd have to wait till she'd had a baby until her body could recover before she could have another one. Whereas in the other situation, the 1 man could get all 3 of the women pregnant and repopulate the community. Now, I'm pretty sure that would have some very messed up relationship dynamics and nobody would really like it. But essentially, it's one of the reasons why the men take the greater risks. Because they are... It's not that they're replaceable. It's that you can replace them quicker if there's more women around than you could if you lost a load of women and there's not very many men. It's not the only thing that will help a community regrow. But it's probably one of the reasons why. Now, let's look at this. Improves perfect attack window in one-handed stance. Oh yeah, the clicking in time of the attacks thing that I haven't been doing at all this episode. Weighted to make handling the sword easier when using one-handed attacks and techniques. So it doesn't say it makes it more difficult. That looks like a Viking sword pommel. Or Anglo-Saxon. Oh, it literally is. That's a very old-fashioned pommel. It's got the tri-lobed Dark Age... Okay, let's confirm. Okay, fine. Can I? No. The straight block is more late Dark Ages, sort of 900s, 1000s, whereas this can be a bit earlier. Often the central lobe would be a little bit longer. I wonder how grips can have 4 different designs. You could have like the one with the wire wrapped around it, embedded into the grip to give you a tighter thing to grip onto, and our sword has now changed shape. I mean, it looks heavy enough to deliver a severe blow. It looks slimmer than the round pommel, but that may be deceptive because it's got the broader base. Is she being bothered by flies or something? No, it's funny because there's a dirty mark on my screen, a little speck of dirt that looked like it was right on her face at the time and she started swatching at it. Anyway. The road goes ever on and on in one direction with very little... Look, it's a story-focused game, it's fine.
There must be more Briganti nearby. This does not bode well.
Guess what we're going to do then? We shall climb.
They're here. I must be vigilant.
Okay, we're full. There's more there. At least 1, maybe 2.
How should you get past the others?
Same way I shall dispatch
That almost could be a woman. Almost. Well, we got hurt. Looks like she automatically sheaths her sword when she jumps. And we need to queue again. The lady, there's definitely more than 3.
Bianca must be here.
Well, I wouldn't get your hopes up, but maybe. You.
Where is she? Bianca, the postulant.
There's no bones, no bones here. They are fled at first signs of battle.
Lie! Where are the captives?
Fucking die, you bastard, she says. Cue it. He called for guards. He won't be alone. Cue again. That's not a full cue, that's why it's not working. Okay then. There may be more. Bad now. Another thing about this game, of course, let's just put our sword away, as we seem to be mildly safe, is that we've only been killing men so far. Aeta is definitely the exception and not the... Okay, well... I mean, we're just unleashing hell with this blade. She's definitely the exception and not the norm. So this isn't a game about, you know, powerful women kill men all the time. This is one powerful woman, exceptional woman, with a lot of military training. Are you going to jump every time you put your sword away, lady? Because that's going to get annoying very quickly. Most importantly of all, this man said there's no nuns or monks here. This is a bit of a wasted effort, but we may find out where they've taken her or where she's gone. If we fight our way through waves and waves of baddies and find Bianca...
No sign of prisoners. Just the den of these wolves.
and she says, no, they didn't capture me, I just ran away. Or if she's the leader of the brigands...
Your prisoners.
We took no prisoners.
Fucking hell. Ow. Okay. Well, at least we got a full heal out of it.
Where are they? Your prisoners.
We took no prisoners.
I am cocking up these guards. And again, please. Right. There we go. Lots of fast clicking and lots of being very badly hurt. And we have very angry lady. You gonna jump again? You did jump again. Great. That's gonna get annoying. So we've been told they took no prisoners. I think we should start to believe them. But she's angry, she's impassioned, she's hurt, she's looking for food.
No sign of prisoners. Just the den of these wolves.
Yep, you said that already. And there's no sort of experience system, so the only reason we're really doing this, apart from therapeutic violence, is to maybe discover some resources that will allow us to continue our quest. So, yeah. That's how I think this game would be woke. If we find Bianca and she's like, oh no, I rescued myself. You didn't need to worry, I'm totally fine, by the way. You know. At the moment, we have no idea what kind of state she's in, but she's definitely missing. We're not going to take that dagger and like throw it. We got one here. We don't need one. We could sneak up on someone and slit their throat. We're not that heavily armoured. Throwing dagger? Kind of a later thing. More Renaissance.
Still no sign.
And we're going to queue it again because we'd like to regain some health. Now this...
The keep. It is closer than I thought.
It is, and probably full of them. This looks like... I mean, that's a jump across. Oh, wow, hang on. I want to... Can I go back? Are we not... No, we're not going back. I suspect that from here we can see the road was blocked and we should have come this way anyway. Oh, okay then. So that is definitely a running jump, not a jogging jump. We have some kind of outbuilding here. Looks vaguely religious in nature. Some manner of...
It must have served the keep, carved out of the rock by the masons who built it.
And the keep doesn't have a courtyard, so this isn't within the... You know, it's off-site. It's not within the enclosure. But it's some kind of church. There might be more paper here. Or dead ends. Might even find a religious trinket. Hello, what's this?
An ox. St. Leone's token. I shall give this to Bianca, along with her ex voto.
What's this? It's not here. Treasures. I do not believe this to be a token of San Lucas, for that would be a winged ox, but of San Leone. Our priest, who hailed from a town in the north, often recounted the miracle that while out hunting, the local nobility came upon the remains of San Leone. Not being able to decide between them where the saint's bones should be laid to rest, after much heated debate and disagreement, they left the matter in his hands. Carefully they raised him up and placed him upon an ox cart, and no sooner had this been done than San Leone proceeded to drive himself to the very church where our priest was ordained. So the dead body drives himself to the place where he can be buried, or back, or just the ox went home and the dead body was on the cart. What's this? We can close, we can't close, and we can of course look for this. So yeah, we're gathering things to give to Bianca. That's nice. You could call it simple artwork, but lots of paper. Hello. But it's more iconic iconography because medieval artwork was very stylized.
Someone must visit. Recently, too.
Indeed.
I wonder if the priest and their flock fled the pestilence.
The candles have been lit. Very recently then, within...
Wow. Must have taken years to carve out this cave.
I don't know, get a bunch of dwarfs in there, do the job much quicker. Better too. Big metal grill, showing us there's an area we can head into. Possibly a secret area we may wish to search. Paper? Paper. Right, speaking of which though, we probably aren't going to be finding much by way of... No, we could go for that, more health. I still don't know how the guard upgrade is going to help. But I could probably do with it. The food upgrade will allow us to carry more. We haven't found that much more, so... How about we improve our one-handed style a bit? Initiative. The first light attack is always a perfect attack. Well, that's 50, okay. And these are locked away. Let's go one-handed fendente. There we go. Oh, there's no... it's just a one-off. Whereas these have multiple levels. Okay. A big wine rack. Looks like it should be moved.
Wind. I can feel a strong draft coming through here.
But from this side. It's...
I can move this aside.
Wait, we can drag as well as push. Interesting. Well, we've seen this clearly from there, so it's not that secret. Perhaps if a monk brought you up here in the later night and had you focused on him, you might not look through the grill and notice too much. Or come around here and not realise that, hey, maybe this is important. This feels very, this shaft of light reminds me of playing Severance, or Blade of Darkness, or BOD. It has so many different titles. BOD being an abbreviation for Blade of Darkness. When the knight got his penultimate or final suit of armour, if you were playing through the knight's campaign, the knight had 3 suits of armour, the dwarf had 2, the barbarian and the amazon only had 1. And of course, the dwarf was the best fun to play. The knight was the hardest to play.
Trod here in an age.
He had the most skill combos, but his hit recovery, his stun recovery from being hit, and his overall speed was slow because he was 50. So he was a slow combo master. Wait, you want me to drop down here? Come on game. What is it? Okay. There may be some trouble getting up again, I imagine. What is this? That's not candles, that's like for little oil lamps. Or maybe candles, if the candles go on the big spikes. This looks like a sword grip.
The sword grip has weight.
Yep.
It would be a good counterbalance to a blade.
Looks like we're getting all of the... So if that's 1, 2, 3 chapters potentially. Improves recovery time after dodge. Yeah, about that dodging. Oh, thick and white wrapped. Okay. This thing with replacing small parts of a weapon part or armor parts, I think I first saw it in, what was it? Something Bound by Flame. Console game developers like it. PC game developers don't tend to do this so much with the hero's equipment. Did I double jump then? It felt, as I was about 2/3 of the way across, I pressed it again. And it felt like I did a little jump across. And this will theoretically allow me back into the church. I saw glinting of light from the masonry, particularly those 2 points there. Nothing has actually happened. Okay. Maybe someone came here recently to check. So how did I not find that doorway previously? And it just looked like a couple of dead ends.
Wow. This is a treasure. These books remain untouched.
And we're just gonna steal some paper. What's this now? Just more paper. Okay. They're giving us lots of upgrades. 25. It's almost like they want us to take this. There we go. Does the two-handed stance have light attacks? And with 10 points left, we could wait for another 5 to get a health upgrade. Or food upgrade. You know, if we take one of each of these, and I could have saved them for later, that gives me something to play with, right? And hopefully we'll get these unlocked at some point in the story. If we do have 3 chapters, this is chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, right? Just a theory. I have no idea what the narrative structure of this story is. Back of a skull is itchy, probably the stubble growing back. Okay. Ah. We saw this. We did not see these stairs. Got it. And let us proceed out through the central aisle. And probably stop in a while, because I don't want this one to run on too long. It's a bit cold tonight, and it's already like 3:15 in the morning. I had to wait till late to start recording tonight. That, I don't see people moving inside. That window there. I should pay attention. Also, I was just about to say I should be on the lookout for more herbs. That looks like we are in no way at all going to be allowed to set foot on it. I mean, apart from the fact it's too steep there. Again, very narrow guided corridors. Look, it's like a £15–20 game. It's not a big budget AAA experience. But you know what? The character model, the quality of some of the components of the game, not that bad. Not too shabby, It could have looked very basic. Obviously, we want to go in. We have a portcullis here that looks like it needs to be raised. Now, there's a literal bar on it. We can't interact with that. Meaning, possibly we do stuff in there, and then the next chapter of the story begins outside there, as if we've opened it and gone through. I'm not sure I can see any air through the gap between these two central edges of the gate. I'm not sure this gate is intended to open. Wait. Yes, the bar is on the correct side, the hinges are on this side, it opens towards us. If it was opening outwards, you'd be kind of stretching the bar weirdly and it wouldn't do such a good job. Okay. Well, we've already determined, okay, there's a good central moat around the keep. Well, not really a moat because it's like right on the edge of the cliff, but an empty moat. Now, an interesting thing about medieval castles is they're often not as large as we may have been led to believe. And bizarrely, there's been recent claims that a lot of castles, the wooden sections on the top of castle walls and towers, apart from being, shelter for archers or spearmen or whatever to hide on, was apparently often whitewashed to make it look like stone on top, to make it look bigger, to give the impression that more funds and materials had gone into the castle's production than actually was the case.
The servants. This place is too quiet.
You already said it looked abandoned, lady. Space under? Space under.
That is a bad sign.
It's a really bad sign. You've been on the trail of brigands. So these open outwards. And again, we're not interacting. Dead horse.
Why leave a horse behind? Did the pestilence drive them away?
That's a really good question. Was it a really unhealthy horse? Was it really bad? Are you going to catch the plague and that's how this story's going to end? Wait, what is this? Is it... Okay, it's just a beam of light. We can see it on the back of our cloak. Well, more of a mantle, really. I was wondering if that was some kind of interactable thing. I was playing another game last night where there were white spots that looked like pieces of interaction stuff. Uh-oh. She's hallucinating. She's seeing what this place used to be like.
Mio signore.
Not one of my vassals, I see. But a knight's errand.
our sword hilt has changed back.
Declare yourself.
My name is Aeta, mio signore.
These are dark times. And
Uh-oh.
I am in want of a retainer. I shall put you to work tomorrow, manning my castle walls.
You honor me, mio signore. I have sworn an oath. I am on a quest and in need of aid. As the steward of this land, could you tell me of the Briganti hereabouts?
You hunt these vermin. You have the demeanor of a milksop babe.
This place looks wrong. Is he already dead?
You have come all the way from Chitra. If my ears are better than my eyes.
That is true. I have tracked them for 30 days and nights to the mountains.
How biblical.
They razed my town. Kidnapped a postulant, my friend, Bianca.
I see. It is love, then, that binds you to this oath.
There are different kinds of love.
We have common cause. You seek vengeance on the Briganti who took your postulants.
I seek to rescue her and bring those responsible to justice.
I see little difference. For your sake, though, I hope she still lives. Villains have no honor when it comes to women.
Look at the spelling of the word villains there. I'll explain.
Given you've tracked your quarry to my lands, I presume my own woes and yours are the same. I shall tell you of these outlaws, and you shall defeat their leader and end the threat they pose.
If they have harmed Bianca or other innocents, then it is my sworn duty.
Then we have an accord. The ninth circle of hell is reserved for traitors. Our common foe were once my own vassals. I protected them, as is my duty, as my father did, and his father before him. Only for them to break this trust, to abandon this place.
I wonder
Stealing
why.
all that they could carry. Pestilence, pestilence, they cried.
There we go.
What a feeble excuse for betrayal.
Okay, you said feeble. Febrile is a
Swear
word.
an oath to me, and I shall tell you where these treacherous curs lair. May they freeze in Cogito for their infidelity.
Are we going to be forced into an alliance here? Oh, we're straight into the next chapter. Okay. Right, so yeah, villain is an interesting word. The villains of medieval society is a term for the peasants, for common folks, who would be blamed for all the bad things, and that's why the later word villain, the more modern spelling, comes into the association of the people who did the bad stuff, whereas it used to just mean the people who get blamed for all the bad stuff because the other people are above suspicion. I reckon when this is finished loading, if it's safe to do so, now may be a good point to end the episode. We've been stripped of what few provisions we may have picked up, and we probably wouldn't have found that much more in the rest of the castle. Although, it might have been nice to see if we could find other sword parts as well. Interesting. Well, I'm going to leave the episode here. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.